Hello everyone and welcome to another Math tutorial video. Now I'll be discussing Form 5 Additional Mathematics, Chapter 7 Linear Programming, Long Question Example 5. Okay, before that, please like this video to show your support and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming mathematics tutorial videos in the future. Okay, let me read the question now. A factory produces two types of microphones, P and Q. Each unit of microphone P requires 2 labor hours and 4 machine hours, whereas each unit of microphone Q requires 2 labor hours and 1 machine hour. The factory produces X units of microphone P and Y units of microphone Q subject to the following constraints. Okay, for the constraint 1, there are not more than 120 labor hours available each week. For the constraint 2, there are not more than 96 machine hours available each week. For the constraint 3, the number of units of microphone P produced each week should not be more than 60% of the total weekly production of both microphones P and Q. So let me read the question part A. Write down 3 inequalities other than x more than equals to 0 and y more than equals to 0 which satisfy the above constraints. For the question part B, hence using a scale of 2 cm to 10 units on both axes, construct and shade the feasible region R which satisfies all the above constraints. For the question part C, based on your graph, answer the following questions. The profits from the sales of each unit of microphone P and each unit of microphone Q are 40 ringgit and 24 ringgit respectively. Find the maximum profit that can be obtained in a week. For the question C, part 2, find the possible range of the number of units of microphone Q produced if exactly 15 units of microphone P are produced in a week. So this is the overall question. So I hope that you will attempt this question in the future. If you could manage to solve this question, a big thumbs up to you guys. But if you can't solve this question, no worries. I'm going to show you the step-by-step working and the solution. So without further delay, let us start to solve the question. Let us begin our discussion for the question part A. Okay, to start off, we need to identify the x and y variables. Okay, in this case, as you take a look at this sentence, it mentioned that the factory produces X units of microphone P and Y units of microphone Q. So from here, we can straight away write this information in our working, where X is representing microphone P and Y is representing microphone Q. Okay, so this information is very important. Okay, next we proceed for the other informations that can be useful. So from here, it mentioned here, each unit of microphone P requires 2 labor hours and 4 machine hours. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to convert this statement into the simplified version. Okay, so let us begin with microphone P. So from here, microphone P, so let me underline this. Okay, it has 2 labor hours and 4 machine hours. Okay, so whereas for the microphone Q, okay, I'm going to continue beside here. Microphone Q. Okay, let me underline. Can make a vertical line over here for the comparison. Okay, so for the microphone Q, it requires 2 labor hours and 1 machine hour. Okay, so this is the simplified version based on this long statement, guys. Okay, at least it is easier for us to read. Okay, So from here, our next step, what we're going to do is we're going to convert this constraint into the linear inequalities form. Okay, let us begin with the constraint 1. Okay, for the constraint 1, it mentioned here there are not more than 120 labor hours available each week. So from here, 2 you have to times with the x microphone P, okay, and then plus with 2 times with y microphone Q, okay, and then they mentioned that not more than 120 labor hours. So that means that it should be within 120 labor hours. So from here, 2x plus 2y should be less than equals to 120. Okay, so from here you divide the whole equation by 2, okay, to simplify the linear inequality. So from here you get x plus y less than equals to 60. Okay, so this is your first constraint, and beside this, okay, let me write here labor hours. Okay, so let me underline this. So from here, let us proceed to the second constraint. Okay, the second constraint mentioned here, there are not more than 96 machine hours available each week. Okay, this is the total machine hours that been allocated. So from here, similar concept as the first constraint. So 4 you times with the x microphone P, okay, and then you plus with 1 times with y microphone Q, okay, and they mentioned that not more than 96 machine hours, so it should be within 96, so less than equals to 96. So this is your constraint for machine hours. Okay, so let me underline this constraint 2. Okay, so let us proceed our discussion for the constraint 3. So it mentioned here the number of unit of microphone P produced each week should not be more than 60% of the total weekly production of both microphones P and Q. Sound confusing? Okay, don't worry guys. Okay, let me guide you. So break down one by one. Okay, it mentioned here number of units of microphone P. So in this case, microphone P is representing x. So just write here x. Okay, should not be more than. Okay, they mentioned here should not be more than. That means it should be less than equal to. Okay, should be less than equal to. So 60% means you need to convert this into the fraction form. Okay, 60 over 100. So if you write in the simplified version, it will be 3 over 5. Okay, 3 over 5 of the total weekly production of both microphones P and Q. So 3 over 5. Okay, and then in a bracket you need to plus with the microphones P and Q. So in this case, microphones P and Q is x and y respectively. So you need to plus them together. Okay, I know it's a bit confusing, but if you do it step by step, I'm sure you can get the constraint. Okay, so from here, this 3 over 5 you expand in. So from here you get x less than equals to 3 over 5 x plus 3 over 5 y. Okay, from here you shift this equation. So from here you get 3 over 5 y plus 3 over 5 x more than equals to x. Okay, so this 3 over 5x, you move it over to the right hand side. So from here you get 3 over 5y will be more than equals to 2 over 5 x. Okay, so for the next step, what you're going to do is we're going to eliminate this fraction. So what you're going to do is we're going to times 5 for the both sides. Okay, you times 5 at the both sides. Okay, so you eliminate them. Okay, so you're only left with 3y more than equals to 2x. Okay, so from here you get your constraint 3y more than equals to 2 over 3x. Okay, so let me underline this. From here, let us proceed our discussion for the question part B. For the question part B, we are required to plot and shade the visible region R which satisfy all the above constraints. By the way, I've already completed the graph and shade the region for you. So let me show you the completed linear programming graph now. So please wait for a moment. Okay, so this is the completed linear programming graph. So as you can see here, this is the title, linear programming of microphone P and microphone Q. And as you can see here, we fulfilled the scale required by the question, which is 2 centimeter is to 10 units. Okay, so that is very important, so make sure you follow the scale. So I'm going to show you how I get this 3 straight line. Okay, let us start with the first one. Okay, x plus y equals to 60 based on the constraint where x plus y less than equals to 60. Okay, for the first step, what you do, you plot the straight line first, and then later on only you focus on the shading. Okay, so for now let me discuss the process on how I get the straight line. Okay, basically it's very simple. You just pick any 2 points. So in this case I choose the intercepts, y-intercept and x-intercept. So in this case is 60 and 60. So you pick those 2 points and then you plot the straight line for the x plus y equals to 60. Okay, so that is for the constraint 1. Okay, let us proceed to the second constraint. So it mentioned here 4x plus y equals to 96. Okay, based on the constraint where 4x plus y less than equals to 96. So similar concept. Okay, I use the intercept. Okay, for the y-intercept is actually 96 and for the x-intercept is actually 24. If you can't see it clearly, so let me zoom in for you. Okay, let us go for a super zoom. Okay, so as you can see here, it might look like 95, but if you look very closely, it's actually 96. Okay, it's actually intersecting over here. So this is for the y-intercept. Okay, let me show you for the x-intercept. Okay, so this is your x-intercept. It's intersecting at the x equals to 24. So you choose those 2 points and then you plot the second straight line where 4x plus y equals to 96. Okay, very simple guys. Okay, so that's how I get this second straight line. Okay, moving on to the third straight line where y is equals to 2 over 3x. Okay, so in this case I choose 2 points. In this case where I choose the point with 30, 20 and the point 60, 40. Okay, you choose any 2 points. Okay, and then you plot the straight line. Okay, it's very easy. So that's how I get this third straight line where y equals to 2 over 3x. Okay, once you're done with this, then you can proceed for the shading. Okay, regarding this dotted lines, okay, and then the maximum point, okay, I will get back to you for the question part C, guys. Okay, this maximum point and the dotted line is the coverage for the question part C, but for now let us focus on the shading first. Okay, so let me close this and open the second graph where I'll be showing you how I perform the shading. Okay, so this is the second graph. Okay, so from here let us start with the first constraint where x plus y less than equals to 60. Okay, so focus on this straight line. So since it mentioned less than equals to 60, so what you need to do is you need to mark the region under the graph. Okay, so from here what you do, you mark here. Okay, you mark here. Okay, and you mark here. Okay, so I think that's all for this. Okay, let us proceed to the second constraint where it mentioned here 4x plus y less than equals to 96. Okay, you need to shade every possible region, guys. Okay, so since it mentioned less than equals to, so you need to shade the downward region. Okay, so from here what you do, you mark here. Okay, you mark here. Okay, and you mark here. Can you mark here? Okay, you cannot mark over here, guys, because it's exceed the straight line already. So it is only possible to mark within this region. Okay, so from here, so let us continue with the third constraint, where y should be more than equal to 2 over 3x. Okay, since y is more than equal to 2 over 3x, so you mark over here over the top of the straight line. Okay, and mark over here. Okay, you mark here, you mark here, okay, anywhere else? Okay, that's all. So from here, you take a look which region has the most colors. Okay, as you can see, this is the region which has the most number of colors, which in this case indicating satisfy all the three inequalities. So that is the reason why I shade this region R, guys. Okay, so once you shade this, don't forget to put the letter R over here. Okay, so this is the working on how I get this polygon R. Okay, let me erase this. Okay, so from here, let us proceed our discussion for the question part C. Okay, back to our main discussion. So for the question C part 1, okay, it mentioned here the profits for microphone P and Q are 40 ringgit and 24 ringgit respectively. So from this statement, we know that we need to come up with the profit equation. So from here, so given that the profit equation where P is equals to, okay, 40 times with X, okay, since it representing microphone P 40 ringgit, so that's why 40 times with X plus with 24, okay, microphone Q 24, so that's why 24 you times with Y. Okay, so this is your profit equation. So let me box this. Okay, so up until now, I hope you guys understand the working. So from here, what we need to do is we need to come up with the imaginary straight line. So in order to come up with the imaginary straight line, we need to come up with a value for P. So how to come up with the value for P? So in this case, we can use the LCM method. So how to come up with the LCM method? Very simple, guys. 40 you just times with 24. Okay, so from here you calculate, you get your P is equals to 960. So that value we're going to use over here, guys. So you can just let your P is equals to 960. Okay, so from here let us continue. So 40x plus with 24 y, okay, is equals to 960. Okay, like I said, in order for us to come up with the imaginary line, you need at least 2 points. Okay, in this case we're going to use the intercepts. Okay, let us start with the y-intercept first. When x equals to 0, okay, you set this whole thing equals to 0. So from here you calculate this, you should get your y is equals to 40. Okay, so and then when y equals to 0, so you set this whole thing into 0. So from here you should get your x is equals to 24. Okay, so you already have these 2 points. Okay, let me open the graph paper where I've already plotted the straight line for this profit equation. I mean this imaginary line. So let me show you. Okay, so this is the equation. 40x plus 24y equals to 960. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, now it's better. So this is the dotted line, guys. So as you can see here. Okay, so up until now, I hope you guys understand this. So from this step onwards, what you need to do is you need to use a ruler, okay, and then you move it in a perpendicular direction. Okay, so for this particular question, you need to be careful. Okay, you need to make sure that which point touch the furthest. Okay, so as you move your ruler, so you must identify in which point it touched the furthest within this shaded region of polygon. Okay, so based on this diagram, we know that it hits over here where it has the coordinate of 12 and 48. Okay, you need to be careful here, guys. Just because it hits here doesn't mean that you cannot make it as a maximum point. Okay, so be aware of the scale here. every small box over here is representing 1 unit. It's not decimal. So in this case, this point is acceptable. Okay. Some students, they will be choosing this point, or probably they'll be choosing this point. Okay. It's wrong, guys. You should be consider of the scale as well. Okay. So from here, from this diagram, we know that we achieved the maximum point of 12 and 48. So we're going to use this maximum point to calculate our maximum profit. So let me close this and back to our main discussion. So from the graph, okay, so we find out that the maximum point is equals to 12, 48. So from here, we're going to use this point to calculate our maximum profit. So hence, your maximum profit is equals to 40 times with 12 plus with 24 times with 48. If you calculate this, you should get your maximum profit is equals to 1632. Okay, so this is your maximum profit, guys. Okay, let me outline the solution for the question C part 1. Okay, so from here, let us proceed our discussion for the question C part 2, where we need to find the possible range of number of unit of microphone Q produced if exactly 15 units of microphone P are produced in a week. So 15 units of microphone P. So it means that you need to find the corresponding Y value when your X is equals to 15. So from here, when X equals to 15, so now what we need to do is we need to open the graph and we need to look for the lowest Y value and highest Y value. Okay, when X equals to 15, the minimum and the maximum value. Okay, so let me open the graph paper. So as you can see here, this is the value of X when X equals to 15. So what I do, I extrapolate it, so until it hit the line. Okay, so when it hits the line, so this is the minimum Y value and this is the maximum Y value. Okay, within this polygon shaded region over here, guys. Okay, so when you pull it towards the Y axis, you have two values. Okay, the first value you have is 10 and the second value here is 36. So this will be your Y minimum and this will be your Y maximum. Okay, so I hope my explanation clear over here. So back to our main discussion. So from the graph, okay, we find out that our Y minimum is equals to 10 and your Y maximum is equals to 36. So in a conclusion, our final answer will be 10, wait guys, 10 less than equals to Y less than equals to 36. So this will be your answer for the question C part 2. Okay, so let me underline the solution. Okay, so that is all for the step-by-step working and the solution for this question. I hope you understand the full working that I've shown to you. If you like this video, please give your thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more upcoming mathematics tutorial videos in the future, and not to forget to share this video. Thank you everyone for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.